Qing's Prose boarding life in January. In order to solve the problem of food and accommodation when I was unemployed, I finally found XX Women's Cram School. This school is specially designed for adult women who are out of school. The monthly board and lodging fee is 18 yuan, and the miscellaneous expenses are 1 yuan. And the host must at least I chose one subject and paid a tuition fee of 3 yuan. I paid a total of 22 yuan in total. It was cheaper than renting a house by myself. So I signed up and listened to the lectures of teachers who were similar to my students. Of course, the reason why I am a drunkard is not to listen to lectures, but to stay in the dormitory. But the dormitory is also very simple. It's a not very square room with 2 beds, and the room is a bit cramped. There are two windows facing each other. It gets the sun in the summer, but it seems gloomy in the winter. There are so many bed bugs that it scares people. As for the food, there were 2 large bowls and 2 small bowls. 12 people sat happily on the table. It was a time of wealth, so you had to work hard to pick up the food. There are 4 dishes and 1 soup neatly placed on the table. Soybean sprouts, chicken lettuce, everything, which is very suitable for the vegetarian movement. There are 3 or 5 slices of meat floating in the soup, which is really thinly sliced and spread lightly. The kitchen lady is so busy I don't dare to open the window and look out for fear of being blown into. Breakfast will not be served until around 8 o'clock. 3 of the 4 dishes are from yesterday's lunch and dinner, which can barely cover the bottom of the basin. The only fresh dish among them is half a fried dish. However, if only 8 sections are allocated to 12 people, at least 4 pairs of chopsticks will always fail. The homework in the school is very careless, but the training is very serious. During normal times, the school director should not use too much bath water. Turn on the light late and turn it off early. There is no need to pump water for peeing. And all the principles of saving material resources are repeated to us again and again. And Sansi is tireless. As for the hot water, you have to pay for it yourself. Anne rushed to the tiger stove outside, and the aunt refuses to come out despite her repeated calls. If you go to the training office, the students will definitely get the card. Who are Huang's mother and the principal? My wife is a relative. Moreover, she also serves as the dean's ear. Which student eats out more often will have the dean smile more at her. One Sunday night, in order to win the favor of the school dean, I specially made an appointment with Ms. Wang to go to a relative's house for dinner. I really didn't know the taste of meat for half a month, so I couldn't help but chew it. When we returned to school, the rickshaw driver didn't do his best. A tire burst on the way, so we put him off for a while. It was already 9:03 when we arrived at school, and the school had just closed the iron gate. We quickly jumped out of the car and drove away with a wave of sincerity. Lao Zhang had already put the key in the keyhole. The school director jumped out and stopped. The rule here is that you must return to school before 9 o'clock. Don't you know? We were busy. He rushed forward to explain and asked the rickshaw driver to testify. Please forgive me for once. This is not excused. He shook his head in Zhenjiang Mandarin. You must not come in tonight. You can spend the night wherever you like. If the iron gate can be reopened after being closed, the school will be in a lot of trouble. Where are we supposed to go? The timid King Missy almost cried. You can also open a hotel. The school director turned around with a long face. We were anxious, so we clung to the iron door and shouted, Sir, please forgive us this time. We don't have enough money to open a hotel. Also, we have to take a bath at night, and all the clothes we need to change are kept in the dormitory. Tell me where you keep your clothes and money, and I'll bring them to you. We had no choice but to hand the suitcase key through the iron door. Soon he took out our vests and shorts. There are no socks yet. King Missy shouted. The school dean was really not afraid of the trouble and ran in to get us 2 pairs of socks. And I see King Miss suddenly thought of changing her menstrual belt. But it was not easy to ask the school director to go to the store again, so she had to swallow it. We were too embarrassed to go back to our relative's house that night, so we wandered on the road for half the night. When martial law was about to come, we bravely walked into a small hotel. Another time, there was a happy event at the principal's family, and all the teachers and students in the school sent gifts. We were freshmen, so we were rude without an invitation. There were only 3 people left in the dormitory that night, and Huang Ma and Lao Zhang were called to help. At 8:30, there was no meal served. Seeing that it was nothing, We planned to pay for it and go out to eat in a restaurant. However, we looked at the clock and it was not far from the closing time of the school gate. Remembering the pain of being shut out of the iron gate last time, we never dared to move our feet again. "Let's eat some cookies," King Missy suggested. I don't ring. I stood up and shook the hot water bottle, only to find it was empty. We spent the night hungry. We packed up our beds the next morning, but the school dean showed no intention of retaining us. We had no money to pay for food, and even urged us to come up with the servant's reward. I haven't had enough to eat and couldn't sleep well for the past month. I went out for a physical checkup and found out that I had lost 5 pounds and my face was sallow.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.